Please be seated. All the audience sitting at the back chairs, you are please requested to occupy the front chairs. Those who will be joining late, we can make the way for them. Our guests are arriving. They are entering into this hall, Sant Dnyaneshwara hall. I welcome our guest, Dr. Rakesh Bhatnagar ji, Dr. Priyankar Upadhyay ji, along with our UNESCO chairholder, Dr. Vishwanath Karad sir. Dr. Milind Pandey sir. May I request all the dignitaries to accept their chair on the dais. I also request Dr. Sunil George, sir, Dean, Faculty of Law, to take the chair on the dais. On behalf of organizers of this 28th Philosophers Sant Shree Dnyaneshwara and Sant Shree Tukaram Endowment Lecture Series and the Orientation Program 2023, I welcome all of you. I am myself Dr. Mrudula Kulkarni, Professor of Civil Engineering. Welcome all the audience and the dignitaries for this session, third session for the today's event. This hall itself, where we have gathered, is a union of science and religion depicting 12 pillars of Rashis and 27 pillars of Nakshatras. Honorable guest, let me inform you that this orientation program is for all the faculty members, which goes for an entire week long, and the day starts at 7 o'clock with the yoga session, and after the yoga session, at 9 o'clock, there are 2 sessions by the eminent speakers. Normally, it is in regional language and national language. And afternoon 4 o'clock, again, there are some scholars to whom we listen to and we take the pieces, bits and pieces of knowledge. And this is normally in English language. So this hall itself, it has seen numerous scholars, philosophers, thinkers during last 27 years. And this is the 28th year of the same. Under the aegis of MIT World Peace Center and our founder president, revered Dr. Vishwanath Karad sir, who is a UNESCO chair, Paris, for Peace, Democracy and Harmony, Humanity, this series is organized since last 2 decades. We are entering into the 3rd decade. Here, this audience is a gathering of not only the teachers, they are also scholars in their own subjects, from science, health sciences, technology, management, commerce, arts, design, and all other faculties. Dr. Karad sir is a firm believer that union of science and spirituality is the path to the peace. And as we all know that energy is the manifestation of pure intelligence, and some scholars have mathematically modeled it as Om is equal to E is equal to mc square, which is the Omkar Nad, which is a rich source of eternal peace. May I call upon Professor Radhika Dixit to guide us and experience the meditation through the chanting of Omkar.
Namaste, good evening. Om is the cosmic sound that originated before the creation of the universe, a sound that connects every living being to the supreme power. It is believed to represent the ultimate reality or pure consciousness. Let us invoke the divinity within us. Gently close your eyes and immerse yourself in the serene experience of Omkar. Be in this state for a moment. You may gently rub your palms on your eyes to feel the warmth and energy. And whenever you're ready, you may slowly open your eyes. Thank you.
At this occasion, I would also like to inform you, all the guests, that in this institution, we start our day with the prayer. And it is a world peace prayer, doesn't belong to any caste or creed. And with the start of prayer, the mind of all the teachers and students, we bring it in a state of peace, and there onwards, the education starts for the day. And this is the practice since its inception for last 4 decades. Moving ahead, who doesn't like to listen to the stories, and that too when it is told by a good storyteller? Dr. Mukesh Sharma will make us think it over through his stories. Let us hear a short story created by Dr. Mukesh Sharma, नीति की लघु कहानियाँ in the series produced by विश्व शांति दर्शन चैनल. आज हम देखने जा रहे हैं कहानी पानी से भरे हुए ग्लास की. May I request our technical team?
प्रणाम और स्वागत है आप सभी का विश्व शांति दर्शन के मंच पर. चैनल के जनक हैं काशी विश्वनाथ कॉरिडोर को नॉलेज कॉरिडोर का स्वरूप देने वाले विश्वधर्मी प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर विश्वनाथ दा कराड. आप सुन रहे हैं नीति की लघु कहानियां। एक बार एक मनोविज्ञान के प्रोफेसर छात्रों से भरे एक सभागार में स्ट्रेस मैनेजमेंट के सिद्धांतों को मंच पर घूम घूम कर पढ़ा रहे थे। तभी उन्होंने एक पानी से भरे हुए गिलास को उठाया। सभी छात्रों को उम्मीद थी कि उनसे वही पुराना सवाल पूछा जाएगा कि भाई ये आधा गिलास खाली है या आधा भरा है। पर हुआ उल्टा। उसके विपरीत मुस्कुराते हुए प्रोफेसर ने एक अलग ही प्रश्न पूछा, मेरे हाथ में जो पानी से भरा गिलास है वो कितना भारी है? छात्रों ने अपने अंदाज से गिलास का अलग अलग वजन बताया। तब प्रोफेसर ने उत्तर दिया, मेरे दृष्टिकोण से इस गिलास का कुल भार कोई मायने नहीं रखता है। यह सब इस बात पर निर्भर करता है कि मैं इसे कब तक पकड़ के रह सकता हूं। अगर मैं इसे 1 या 2 मिनट के लिए पकड़ता हूं तो यह गिलास काफी हल्का लगेगा। अगर मैं इसे 1 घंटे के लिए सीधा पकड़ के रखता हूं तो इसका वजन मेरे हाथ में दर्द पैदा कर सकता है। अगर मैं इसे 1 दिन तक ऐसे ही सीधा पकड़ता हूं तो मेरी बाह में ऐंठन हो सकती है और पूरी तरह सुन्न होकर मुझे ऐसा लगेगा जैसे मुझे लकवा मार गया है, पैरालिसिस हो गई है, और मुझे फर्श पर ग्लास को हाथ से गिराने के लिए फिर मजबूर होना पड़ेगा। तो तुमने देखा कि प्रत्येक मामले में ग्लास का वजन नहीं बदला, लेकिन जितना अधिक समय तक मैं इसे पकड़ कर रखे हुए था यह मुझे उतना ही भारी लगा। कक्षा ने फिर सहमति में अपना सर हिलाया। तब टीचर ने कहा, आपके जीवन में तनाव और चिंताएं पानी के इस भरे हुए गिलास की तरह हैं, याद रखिएगा। उनके बारे में कुछ देर सोचेंगे तो कुछ नहीं होगा, उनके बारे में जितना ज्यादा सोचेंगे तो आपको थोड़ा दर्द महसूस होगा। दिन भर उनके बारे में सोचेंगे और कुछ नहीं करेंगे तो आप पूरी तरह सुन्न हो जाएंगे, अपंग महसूस करेंगे। कहानी खत्म। जी आइए देखें क्या सीख देगा ये अनोखी कहानी। यही कि आप हमेशा ये नियंत्रित नहीं कर सकते हैं कि बाहर क्या हो रहा है, लेकिन आप ये तो नियंत्रित कर सकते हैं कि आपके अंदर क्या हो रहा है। कभी कभी समस्याओं को हल करने के लिए उन्हें समाधान की आवश्यकता नहीं होती है, बल्कि उन्हें आगे बढ़ने से रोकने के लिए दिमाग की परिपक्वता की आवश्यकता होती है। याद रखिएगा कि आपके जीवन में क्या चल रहा है इससे तनाव नहीं आता है। तनाव आता है आपके विचारों से, आपके लगातार सोचने से कि आपके जीवन में आखिर चल क्या रहा है। उम्मीद है तनाव मुक्त करने की इस कहानी ने आपके मन के दरवाजे पर दस्तक जरूर दी होगी। कुछ सोचने पर मजबूर किया होगा आपको। थिंक इट ओवर।
ये था विश्व शांति दर्शन चैनल, जो कि हमारे पितृ सदृश डॉक्टर कराड़ सर के विजन का एक नमूना है। आप इसे सब्सक्राइब करें, इसको लाइक भी करें। Now may I request all the audience to rise in their seat and chant with the help of MIT World Peace Prayer.
नमो जियाद्या वेद प्रतिपाद्या जय जय स्वसंवेद्या आत्मरूपा देवा तूति गणेशु सकलार्थमति प्रकाशु म्हणे निवृत्तिदासु अवधारि गोदी गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
To start with this session, we have eminent speakers, our honorable guest, Dr. Rakesh Bhatnagar, Dr. Priyankar Upadhyay, and Mr. Patwardhan here. As a tradition of MITWPU, we would like to welcome them with the felicitation of the guest. May I request Dr. Karad sir to felicitate our guest, Honorable Dr. Rakesh Bhatnagar ji. जो कि प्रेसिडेंट अवॉर्डी है, नेशनल साइंस चेयर और जेसी बोस नेशनल फेलो है और फॉर्मर वाइस चांसलर ऑफ बनारस हिंदू यूनिवर्सिटी वाराणसी। Then we have Dr. Priyankar Upadhyay, a distinguished professor and senior advisor, UNESCO Chair for Peace and Intellectual Understanding, BHU, and Global Peace Fellow, Oslo, Norway. We also have Professor Patwardhan here, who is a professor of German. He was a senior director, School of Foreign Languages for last 38 years. He has done his BA, MA, MPhil and PhD in German language from University of Delhi, and he has been associated with MIT since its inception. We welcome you, sir. To introduce our today's first speaker, Honorable Dr. Rakesh Bhatnagar ji. Such a tall biodata from such a distinguished researcher and a professor. He is a President Awardee, National Science Chair, J.C. Bose National Fellow and former Vice Chancellor of Banaras Hindu University, Varanasi. He has been highly accomplished scientist, visionary leader who has made significant contributions to the field of biotechnology and higher education in India. With a career spanning over 3 decades, he has distinguished himself as a researcher, educator, and administrator, leaving an indelible mark on the scientific landscape of the country. Born in Varanasi, Professor Bhatnagar developed keen interest in science from his early ages. He pursued his education at Banaras Hindu University, earning his BSc, MSc, and PhD degrees in botany. His research interests primarily focused on molecular biology, particularly in the areas of microbial genetics, gene regulation, and plant biotechnology. Professor Bhatnagar's research has led to numerous breakthroughs, including the development of novel techniques for genetic manipulation and the discovery of new genes involved in plant disease resistance. His work has been published in numerous peer-reviewed journals and has garnered international recognition. Alongside his research endeavors, Professor Bhatnagar has also played a pivotal role in promoting biotechnology education and research in India. He has held several prestigious positions, including Dean of School of Biotechnology at Jawaharlal Nehru University, Vice Chancellor of Kumaon University, and Director of Advanced Instrumentation Research Facility at JNU. In 2016, Professor Bhatnagar was bestowed with prestigious President's Visitor Award for Innovation in recognition of his outstanding contributions to science and technology. He has also been conferred with J.C. Bose National Fellowship and National Science Chair by the Government of India. We have with us such a tall personality. May I request Dr. Bhatnagar sir, having his contributions in science and education, we would like to hear from you and how we can get motivation from you.
Good evening. Dignitaries sitting on the dais, off the dais, and my younger colleagues, particularly new faculty members. I was just now told that this is an orientation program. I still remember I used to be director of Academic Staff College, where we used to motivate younger faculty members to do well in their career. So maybe let me start with this. Maybe I'm changing the gears, okay? You are very fortunate to come and select a profession which is much different than all other professions. And therefore you have a wonderful life ahead. Although you may be hearing stories that I have finished PhD, I have appeared in 3 interviews, still I am not getting a job. Even if I have got a job, I have applied for many research grants and still I am waiting for them. Sometimes you may be talking about, I have sent my research paper in a very prestigious journal, it has come back, and now I am trying in the other journal. All these things are common to all of us. However, there is another side of the story which I would like to share with you. A person like me, who have always been blessed with all the success in scientific world. For example, I started my life in a very poor family, where my father could not send me to school after 10th grade. I had to work in a factory for 2 years to collect the money so that I can go to the 11th grade. But there has to be something which is called perseverance, that you don't give up. So many people thought that now I have started working in the factory, I am not going to go back to studies. But I decided to come back to studies and did my 11th and 12th. The student, as a science student, I saw all my friends were either trying for engineering or medicine, but I didn't have money to go for studying medicine. So I decided something different. I thought, why not I study something which can be taught in the medical school? Why can't I learn a science which is useful to discover things, to develop new drugs or new vaccines, which may be produced by some drug companies or vaccine manufacturers, and eventually go to the doctors and they give it to their patients. So I decided to become a scientist. So I did my master's degree, PhD degree in biochemistry, which is the fundamentals which you are supposed to know to develop any drug or any biological material. While I was doing my PhD, I was almost at the fag end of my PhD, a German professor came. He delivered a very good seminar, and I asked him a question. The German professor was so happy to listen to that question that you have given me another idea to do some work. So, since you have raised this question, I am offering you a job to come and work in Germany with me, if you are interested. And that is where I went and worked in Germany and met Dilip Patwardhan in a cafeteria. And that's how we became friends, and until today we are very friendly. And yesterday when I came to know that he is associated, his father was also associated with this university, I was very glad that I am going to go to Pune and I am going to see all of you along with Dilip Patwardhan, who is a good friend of mine. Thank you very much for inviting me to come to this place. Thank you. When I came and I met Dr. Vishwanath Karad, I was so impressed with his philosophy and the way he is trying to develop institution of such a magnitude. I was told when I was coming to the university that you have about 18,000 students, am I right? So it is something like half the size of Banaras Hindu University. And Banaras Hindu University is 100 and maybe 8 years old now. I am very happy to see that such a beautiful campus has been created, and I was told that it started like a engineering institute to begin with, and now you teach all kinds of different subjects. Now let me continue my story. So then I went to Germany and I learnt a new kind of science in Faculty of Medical Sciences called molecular biology, which is the mother of biotechnology. I learnt over there, then worked in France for a while, and then in United States. And eventually, India decided to start teaching of biotechnology. And I was visiting India to deliver a talk in Jawaharlal Nehru University. Jawaharlal Nehru University, you know, always works in a different manner. They do not believe in much bureaucracy. Just a minute. They do not believe in much hierarchy. So they invited me to deliver a talk. And after the talk, they asked me if I would like to come here in Jawaharlal Nehru University and start teaching of biotechnology in India. So I said, that looks like a good place to begin my journey of Indian academics. So I came back and started working in Jawaharlal Nehru University. Then what happened, I thought that tomorrow what may happen, that India may produce lot of biotechnology industries and we will not have manpower who can really do the job. And you will be happy to know, today India has become the capital of vaccine production in the world. This is all because teachers like me, 6 of us came from United States and started teaching biotechnology, and one of the subject which is taught, vaccinology, I used to teach. So train a lot of people, and today 70% vaccine of the whole world are produced in India. Still, I have certain regrets that India is very good place for mass production. For example, China produces a lot of things at a massive scale, so the cost goes down and they are able to dominate the world market. However, most of the things China is producing or India is producing are originally innovated in United States or in Europe. And let me tell you the reason for that. Recently I was going through a book written by a historian from Harvard Medical School, sorry, not Harvard Medical School, Harvard University. This fellow has written that about 200 years back, Germany started modern kind of universities where innovation was encouraged. Teachers were not only supposed to impart the knowledge which they have, disseminate them, rather to create new knowledge which can eventually make certain products, certain services, and can go to the market also. And they were given free hand to think about whatever they want to produce, whatever they want to work. So the freedom of academics started in Berlin in Germany. British people learned from them and Americans learned from them in the next century, about 100 years back. America started opening many universities, and many of the American people used to go to Germany to learn how is the culture of innovation in Germany. I had the same fortune to go over there and to learn how to innovate. Let me tell you the very first story. MIT, I think your name is also MIT, Maharashtra Institute of Technology, and I am talking about Massachusetts Institute of Technology in Boston. The alumni of Massachusetts Institute of Technology own about more than 30,000 companies. And most of these companies are based on their innovation. Their total economic contribution to the United States is more than $2 trillion per annum. That means Indian economy produces about $3.5 trillion, and one institution alone is able to create roughly 2/3 of that wealth. This is the power of innovation, which I think I will request my younger colleague to get used to. I still remember in 70s, Sony from Japan flew to United States to see a machine which is able to project the movies in the television stations. And Sony gave this job to their young engineers that machine was so big and it costed $60,000. Sony wanted their engineers to miniaturize it to something like 1 feet by 1 feet, and the cost of this machine should go down to less than $2,000. Their engineers worked day and night, and in 2 years' time, they could produce VCR. I think all of you know what is VCR. And it was thrown to public during Christmas of 1979, I think. And it was sold for $2,000. And all American houses, they had a VCR in their home during Christmas time. So this is the power of innovation, that a person sitting in Japan could innovate a product which could reach to all American houses. Now let us think about India. India became independent country 75 years ago. And I think to begin with, we did a very good thing that we invested the money in IITs with the help of many other nations. For example, IIT Kanpur was in collaboration with the Americans, and British people collaborated for Delhi IIT, like that. All the 5 IITs were created. All these IIT graduates, when they went abroad, they learned computer sciences, and today most of the IT industry is dominated by Indians. But if you think very carefully, they are working for American companies, whether sitting in Bangalore or sitting in United States. But do you think Indian software engineers, computer scientists, have they created a product first time in the world? The answer is no. Was Google created in India? No. Facebook was created in India? No. We all use WhatsApp, that was created in India? No. So we have been working as a cheap labor for American company most of the time. The time has come, and particularly I am requesting the younger faculty member, the time has come when we Indians should make a habit of innovating things. Let me give you an example, my own example. Dr. Lal Path Laboratory, everybody would have heard the name. It's a big diagnostic company. Dr. Lal invited me to their company about 10 years back and told that an American company is bringing this machine of $34,000. They are selling us a cartridge in 27,000 rupees to diagnose the TB, which is drug resistant. And he requested me, Dr. Bhatnagar, could you help us to do this with some cheaper alternative, because if we spend 2,700 rupees to buy the cartridge, this test will cost us not less than 3,000 rupees. And then after making some profit, we are going to charge poor TB patient 4,000 rupees, which Indian poor people cannot afford. So bring the cost to something like 500 rupees, we will be very happy. I immediately thought of Sony. Sony went to United States and he wanted to bring the cost of a machine from $60,000 to $2,000. So I said, okay, let's do that. We both went to Ministry of Science and Technology and got a grant where they contributed 30% and government contributed 70%. And we worked together for about 3 years to test the new thing on 7,000 patients. So our product was something like not only equal to them, better than them, and we could produce it in 206 rupees, starting with 2,700 rupees. So it is less than 1/10 of the cost. And it is being used by Lal Path even today. So my request to my younger colleague is that these are examples. I have not come here to advertise my success. I have come here to motivate you so that you can also start doing this. I think a young engineer, Dr. Solanki, who came to receive me on the airport, we were talking about it. He has produced a new ball bearing which can take the load 3 times more than the previous version. So I gave him another story, that I use a centrifuge which has lot of moving parts. The motor is there, the belt is there, the ball bearings are there, and they are all, there is some wear and tear and they go out of order. A Swiss person designed a centrifuge where there is no motor, there is no bearing, there is no belt. What he has done is, there are magnets and there is electricity. So these magnets, you know, they become charged and they can attract. And once you stop the current, they can repel. And then things start moving and it becomes a centrifuge. The best thing is, this centrifuge doesn't make noise. Earlier one used to make noise. This centrifuge has no wear and tear. I am using this machine for the last 30 years, no wear and tear. So this kind of innovations can make our life easier. Now let us talk about why India is not able to do innovation. What is the problem? If you think about innovating anything, usually you know many doctors, many engineers, many scientists, they work hard in laboratories and they discover things. And what is the root of education is not the undergraduate engineering degree or a medicine degree. We have to think about, are we giving quality education to our children? Let's analyze for a while. Quite often I see surveys reported in the newspapers that so many schools were surveyed and children are not able to read a paragraph. They are not able to multiply or divide or add or subtract. They are not able to explain the meaning of a paragraph. Most of our children are getting that kind of education. Unless we correct our foundation, unless we have a strong foundation, unless our root is good, the plant cannot be good. Root has to nourish the whole plant. So the childhood education or primary and secondary education of high quality is very important and which is not taking place. And I will be very blunt to share certain things with you. To have good education, you have to have good teachers, isn't it? If you ask me or you, anybody, where would you like to send your child to the school? You will say, I would like the best teacher to teach my child. Am I right? But are we getting the best teachers to teach in the school? The answer is resounding no. You ask any parent sitting over here, what do you want your child to become? Somebody will get doctor, engineer, manager, chartered accountant, whatever, architect. I went to a school and I interacted with children and I asked them, what do you want to become? Again the same answer, I want to become a doctor, I want to become an engineer, I want to become a scientist. So I asked them, who motivated you to become a doctor or engineer or a space scientist or whatever? So then he tells me, my physics teacher, my biology teacher, my mathematics teacher. So I asked all of them, then you don't want to become a teacher? And nobody said that they want to become a teacher. So the kind of teachers we get, they are, leftovers. Those who could not become doctors, those who could not become engineers, chartered accountant, managers, whatever, okay? If that is the quality of our teacher to teach our younger lot, do you think they will get quality education? The answer is no. Now let me give you another example. During my stay in Germany, I interacted with many primary and secondary teachers. You know what they told me? It's the most difficult thing in Germany to become a primary or secondary school teacher. They are trained for 7 years to become a teacher, because German thinks that this is the most important work. We are making foundation of our citizens. So the best teacher should teach our students. Perhaps you remember about, I think 89 or so, when the German unification took place, lot of people came from East Germany to work in West Germany. And they were given the job, whatever they were doing in East Germany. But when they wanted to become teacher, the answer was flat no. You cannot become teacher. Anything else is fine. You are an electrician, you will become electrician. You are a plumber, you will become plumber. You are a secretary, you will become secretary. But if you are a teacher, you cannot become teacher unless you go through the drill of 7 years to become very good teacher. In Germany, if 100 people are sitting and one person is a teacher, you can read from his face that he is a teacher. And that is the success of Germany. Have you ever heard that German economy is going down? Mercedes are not good cars, or BMWs are not good cars. Have you ever heard? No. Because their engineers are best in quality. And their engineering route goes to their primary and secondary education to teach very good mathematics and physics. So it's very important that we correct our primary education and secondary education. Quite often I see it in the newspapers. There is a scam in teachers hiring. It's very common. Sometimes in Haryana, sometimes in Bengal, sometimes in some other state, some corruption has taken place, and the best quality of teachers are not selected. The people who have paid the money, they have been selected. So if you hire this kind of teachers, do you think they can do a good job? Not. Thanks to many of the private schools and many of the schools which are run by certain trust. For example, I am admirer of this Ramakrishna Mission School. I am admirer of this Mothers International School, or even Delhi Public School, which is, plenty of branches are there all over the place. And I must thank to our women folks who are teaching. I think most of the time in school you will find girls are teaching, not the boys. And the reason is that suppose I get a job in Pune, my wife comes with me, she doesn't have a job. So what she does, she goes through this B.Ed degree and takes up a job in school. So most of the teachers, they have studied well, but because of the transfers, because of husband taking a job, they move to another city. So I think about maybe if we have 100 children, maybe 20 children are able to go to these good schools, and therefore we are getting good education in certain schools of trust and private schools. Now, how to solve this problem? The solution is simple. India is such a vast country, and I forgot to name central schools. Central schools have done very good job. Why not, for such a big country, 50,000 central schools are open. Central schools are good because their hiring process of teachers is very good. You have to have a good academic background. They test your knowledge of the subject by taking a written test, followed by an interview. So you get good teachers. That is why many of my PhD students, they came, they told me they had central school background and they were all good. So unless we open, let's say, 50,000 schools in India, so that no child has to walk more than a kilometer to go to school, and the admission has to be guaranteed. It's something like a concept of neighborhood school in United States. In United States, anybody can walk in and take the admission in a school, which is run by the government, and they are very good. My daughter went through a school in Montgomery County, which are considered to be best in the country, and they conduct a test. They call it California Achievement Test. So they try to find out the children who are too good, and then they separate them in a group called Gifted and Talented Children. And they have a program called Gifted and Talented Children Program. So my daughter also went there, and the difference was that here, if you are in 4th grade, and if you finish the book of 4th grade, they give you 5th grade book, 6th grade book. Skies are the limits. And I could see that her fundamentals were very clear. When she came to India, she did not find it difficult to get an admission in school. She went to Mother's International School. Again, it was a very good school. So schooling is very important. And if we neglect schooling, we cannot become a developed country. There are two ways. Either you become a developed country by innovation, or you pay for innovation. We are not Middle East, who are making money out of petrol and can buy everything. We have to innovate so that we can innovate something which the whole world can buy, and then we can afford to buy things from abroad. For example, if you have a cell phone, say iPhone, and if whole India decides to buy an iPhone, the country will be bankrupt. So this is the power of innovation. So iPhone rules the whole world. It's a multi-trillion-dollar company. But the innovation started at the university level. In Silicon Valley, all the companies, I think most of the companies, they originated from Stanford. As I told you, example of MIT. If you consider the economy of Silicon Valley, I think it owes everything to Stanford. The same way Harvard. But let me ask you, we have also invested in IITs. IITs has produced very good undergraduate engineers, no problem with that. But most of these engineers, they went abroad to United States to become successful. Few of them came back and started their companies in Bangalore, and they are making money as a service industry and bringing a lot of foreign exchange to the country, thanks to them. However, innovation is still lacking. I would like my engineers to innovate things. I would like my doctors to innovate my things. I would like my scientists to innovate things, which can be sold to all over the world, which is not happening. We are making cell phones, but most of the technology is coming from South Korea, Japan, or United States. We have not made, I think today we have more than 100 Senfold companies are working in India to produce them. But we are just assembling them. We are not producing the components, because in a cell phone, there are 3,000 components. We are not producing them. We are taking them and putting them together. So that is not innovation. Just put them together. You teach to any technician, he will do it. No problem. But if you want to innovate new products, you have to have very good quality of primary and secondary education, so that when you get the students in your engineering schools or your medicine or your scientists, they should be of high quality, which is not happening. Let me give another example. Medicine. We have plenty of medical schools. This year I saw a news that in NEET exam, NEET, the lowest merit went in minus. Has anybody seen that news? No. Minus. So that means if I knew that I can get selected in NEET by getting minus marks, so I will not write anything. I'll get 0. 0 is more than minus. I get selected. Now you see, this man is going to become a doctor. Is he going to give you a very good treatment? The chances are no. As a Vice Chancellor of Banaras Hindu University, I have seen that such bad students, when they come to our medical school, teachers get tired of them and they say, okay, give him mercy attempt and go to the next class and let them trouble the next teacher, not me. So if that is the quality of our doctors, recently you would have seen lot of scams in medical sciences also. So this is all has happened because we are not getting the best doctors, they are not getting the best education. Now let us come to engineers. IITs have done a very good job to produce undergraduate engineering. I would call IITs are very good undergraduate engineering colleges. But if you go to their MTech class or if they go to their PhDs, they don't get IITians. Usually they get from, let us say, either NITs or some private college or some small college where they have not been taught well. And such people are supposed to come and do research and innovate? No, it's not possible. So you have to have good primary education, good undergraduate degree, and then you work hard to do research to innovate the things. Now, situation of universities, let me share because I worked all my life in the universities. We have about 42,000, more than 42,000 colleges and more than 1,000 universities. I would say our state universities are almost dead, and central universities also, barring, you cannot count up to 10. They are not up to the mark. If I want to count, I come from JNU, and usually that remains #1 university of the country. Then I come from BHU. It is usually #2 university in the country. #1, #2. Then I think about Delhi University, Central University of Hyderabad. And then I have to really think whom to put. At the most you can put Aligarh Muslim University in the central universities. At the most you can put Jamia Millia. And you are not finding a 7th one. We have 40 odd central universities. And the reason is different. All the budget of the university is mainly used to pay the salaries of the teachers. There is no money left for innovation. I give you an example of BHU because I have handled the budget over there. I am also interested in finance. Banaras Hindu University, when I joined, their budget was something like 1100 crores. And but for 60 crores, all the money was for paying the salaries. And this 60 crore budget is called maintenance budget. And my electricity bill was 66 crores. So if I pay my electricity bill, I am in the red, minus 6 crores. Where is the money for innovation? Where is the money for infrastructure for laboratories? So the first thing I did going to Banaras Hindu University, we cannot afford that and we cannot switch off the lights. So what we did, Banaras Hindu University is a huge university, buildings are massive, their rooftops are massive. So we decided to do all the rooftops solar. Today, BHU produces 8 megawatt electricity from the rooftops. And our requirement is only 15 megawatts. So the electricity bill went down by half. What did we do? Just spent 32 crore rupees to use our rooftops, which was lying idle, to make it solar. Another thing happened. I talked about quality of teachers. Because you hire the best faculty, they will teach well, they will do best research, they will get best research funding, and job is done. So one of my very senior professors told me, Professor Lakhotia, Rakesh, bring 200 good faculty members, BHU will be transformed. I said, sir, why 200? We have 500 vacancies. So why not to bring all 500 very best faculty members? University will be transformed forever. He told me, Rakesh, you won't be able to do it. I said, why? He said, there are 4 problems here. 1, casteism. In Banaras Hindu University, if a Brahmin becomes vice chancellor, he tries to hire Brahmins. If a, let's say, Kshatri or Kya Thakur becomes the vice chancellor, he starts by hiring them. Second problem is political interference, that some Neta will call you and say, bhai, you hire this person. So I answered Professor Lakhotia, that I have not come with the help of any politician. So don't worry about it. I am not going to oblige them because they have not obliged me. I came on my own merit and I am only going to reward merit, merit and only merit. We hired 467 faculty members. And I think Anju and Priyankar are witness. Not a single appointment was done because of any pressure. I always used to think I have been appointed by the President of India and only President of India can fire me. And President of India can only fire you if you do some financial bungling, you do something wrong. And that too after forming a committee and giving you a chance to explain your view, then only they can fire you. So if you have appointed meritorious people, you cannot be fired. Why do you worry about it? I said, okay. Now, Professor Lakhotia also told me that even if you hire, you won't be able to retain them because you will not be able to give them housing. There is always a waiting list in the housing. So I saw how much is the waiting list? 40 people. How many new faculty members we are going to hire? 500 people. I said, okay, let's make 540 new residences. And within 2 years, we were able to make 540 new residences And I think today there is no waiting list in BHU. One joins BHU, you get a key, you can occupy your residence and work over there. We are very fortunate that we got Institution of Eminence grant, 1,000 crore, which could do a lot of good things, lot of money for medical institute. Today, I think medical institute is much better than what it used to be. Thanks to Ratan Tata. Ratan Tata pledged 500 crore rupees to give us a cancer hospital. Okay? I told them, don't give cancer hospital, okay, don't give money, make a cancer hospital and give it to us. Because we will go through bureaucracy. Another biggest enemy of this country's progress and development is bureaucracy. So we requested Tatas to make the cancer hospital. They made it. In 10 months, flat 10 months, they made a cancer hospital. Mr. Modi came, Ratan Tata came, and it was inaugurated. Now East India people don't have to come to Bombay for treatment in TMC, Tata Memorial Center. They can get the treatment done in BHU itself. Then we made another deal with Tatas. I said, instead of running it in BHU way, what about if you run it? So a calculation was made that 270 crore will be charged to the patients. Poor people will pay less, rich people will pay more, like that. And total expenditure will be 300 crores. So there was a shortfall of 30 crores. We came to Atomic Energy Bombay, got a grant of 30 crores per year for the cancer hospital. So it runs in no profit and no loss, and Tata runs it. Although the name is Mahamana Madan Mohan Cancer Hospital and Research Center, but Tatas run it in a business-like manner, so least bureaucratic, but they do a very good job. So my time is more or less up. Hello? 1 minute, okay. I can still have liberty of 1 minute, 40 seconds. So I would suggest that if the country opens 50,000 central schools, and I'm very glad that now private universities are also playing an important role in imparting the education, but the same level is not there. For example, if you go to Banaras Hindu University, per student expenditure is 4 lakhs rupees per annum, and it is paid by the government. But the student thinks that I am paying 3,000 rupees or 4,000 rupees fee, and perhaps I am paying for my education. Actually, he is not. He is getting 4 lakh subsidy, which he doesn't even know. So my prescription would be that private universities and government universities should have the same level of funding, or the student should either take the loan and repay for next 10 years. But I should know that if I have gone to Banaras Hindu University, I have been given subsidy for a study of 3 years, 12 lakhs of rupees, which I have to repay in next 10 years. Then people will not mind paying the fee in a private university, and private universities will be able to hire even better teachers, because the person is getting loan and he is paying. And the good students may come to the private universities also, and there will be a competition like in United States. I think most famous universities are private. Harvard is private, MIT is private, Stanford is private. No, Stanford is private. You are right. Berkeley is not private. Okay. So if we try to have the same kind of competition between government and private universities, then I tell you the best universities will survive and the rotten ones will die. With these words, I thank you very much once again for inviting me.
Thank you so much, sir. Speaking about the India tomorrow, you have expressed the situation of Indian universities having the constraints like budget, infrastructure, faculty quality, and many influences from the sectors of the society. And you have also pinpointed our pain area that private universities and the funding that they seek is not as same as the government universities that they receive. Here in this August gathering, there are many researchers who are having the same pain area. Thank you for highlighting it, and also thank you for highlighting the value of teachers in the society and in the educational organizations. Our next speaker today is Dr. Priyankar Upadhyay, a distinguished professor and a senior advisor, UNESCO Chair for Peace and Intercultural Understanding, Banaras Hindu University, and Global Peace Fellow, Oslo, Norway. May I introduce Dr. Priyankar Upadhyay. He is a renowned scholar, educator, peace activist who has dedicated his life to promoting peace and intercultural understanding. As a distinguished professor and a senior advisor at UNESCO Chair for Peace and Intercultural Understanding at Banaras Hindu University, he has played a pivotal role in shaping the discourse on peace education and conflict resolution. His journey began with his deep-seated concern for the prevalence of violence and conflict in the world. Driven by the desire to create a more peaceful society, he embarked on lifelong quest for knowledge and understanding of the root cause of conflict and the mechanism of fostering the peace. His academic pursuits led him to earn his PhD in international relations and MPhil in comparative politics from the Jawaharlal Nehru University. Further enhancing his expertise, he pursued an advanced international diploma in conflict resolution from Uppsala University, Sweden. His teaching career has been embarked by his passion. He has taught international relations, peace studies at Banaras Hindu University for over 3 decades. He has mentored and guided countless individuals on the path to become peace builders. And beyond the classroom, Dr. Upadhyay has made significant contributions to the field of peace and conflict resolution through his extensive research and publication. His writings explore various aspects of peace building, including conflict prevention, peace education, and post-conflict reconciliation. His dedication to peace extends beyond academic pursuit. He has served as a resource person for United Nations University of Peace and Henry L. Stitman Center, Washington, D.C., and has been visiting speaker at the Foreign Service Institute, Naval War Academy, and National Defense College in India. He has served as ICCR Chair of Indian Studies at Dublin City University also. In recognition to his unwavering commitment to peace, Dr. Upadhyay was conferred with a prestigious Global Peace Fellowship by the Peace Research Institute, Oslo in Norway. So we have such a tall personality with us, and he is also our eminent faculty at MIT World Peace University. May I request Dr. Upadhyay, sir, to share his view and guide us.
Thank you so much. And namaskar. I don't know how to address our revered Dr. Vishwanath Karatji, distinguished colleagues on dais, off dais, and wonderful students who are around, and especially the staff, the karmcharis, everybody around. My namaskar and welcome to this particular program or celebration of peace, as we call it. First and foremost, my gratitude to Professor Rakesh Bhatnagar. I have served Banaras University not for 30 years, but almost 45 years. What happens when people pick up, thank you, Sanjay, yeah. I know he always does that. When people pick up these CVs, sometimes they go to my university's website, wherein my biodata was not updated for last 15 years. But I'm still there, I still serve as UNESCO Chair for Peace, but spending most my times and efforts here, that is what the Honorary UNESCO Chair allows me to do. These 45 years, I have seen almost full 12 Vice Chancellors. And ranging from, I wouldn't name, great scientists, great politicians also, and great workers. It requires a lot of destiny, luck, and I should say, Rekhas, as one of my vice chancellors used to call me. He said, you are there and I'm here because of Rekha. But the reason I mentioned this, and I say it with all my heart and passion, and as you know, I don't have to get any tangible gain from this wonderful professor friend of mine. Dr. Rakesh Bhatnagar has been the most outstanding. Public universities have their huge limitations. As he mentioned many of them, in fact, I was thinking that I heard a few things which I never heard from any vice chancellor, including himself. But now he's in better position to say that, and he transcended that barrier of na bruyat satyam apriyam. So he spoke certain truths without caring for the consequences. But yes, in 3 years' time is a very short time. Huge universities, huge problems. And he could surmount most of the problems. It's a fact that he recruited 450 faculties, which is some kind of a world record if he goes around. And especially in India, I don't want to comment how, generally it takes. I remember when he was about to leave and he sent his resignation even beforehand that I'm leaving and better appoint a vice chancellor, and it took months and all. I don't want to go there. I still have to serve there, so I want to be safe. But I told him that it will take months for a new vice chancellor to come, and exactly the same thing happened. But even previous to that, sometimes 10 years it will take for the vice chancellor to do the selection committee. He brought a lot of colleagues, and yes, he's right. When I joined, I and Anjuji joined almost 45 years ago. We had to wait for 13 years to get a proper university accommodation. But now my younger colleagues, and I was encouraging somebody this morning, I said, think of BHU, if you are a professor, you get a house in a Ziffy in a week's time. So these are the real contribution. So I'm really thankful to you, Rakesh ji, for joining us. I still remember we made very good friends, very good friends. I mean, sometimes we talk for hours together on phone, discussing all kinds of things. And I remember that once, while getting up from his office, he said something. He said, anything for you, Priyankar. And I evoked that promise from him. He is very short of time. He's a very active scientist. I said, come to MIT Pune. And then this is what he had to say, anything for you, Priyankar. So thank you so much. Now, I would also I'm happy. It's a very happy and joyous moment for me. And I'll tell you a secret. Like today, so many secrets were revealed by my Vice Chancellor, always a Vice Chancellor. Let me reveal a secret. I came to this pious place 2 years back, first time. There will be occasions when they will invite me and I was abroad or doing things, and I'll send my younger colleagues. But the first time, thank you so much, Professor Pathan, I met with him in one of those UNESCO meetings, and he made me speak to revered Professor Vishwanath Karatji, and he said, come for the Parliament of Religion thing. And I come here, and first time I saw the Peace Dome, and the first time I saw what this wonderful Shraddhe Atma has done. And I remember when I came, his ready generosity and love. And that's what peace is all about. First time, I was there as an invited speaker for the valedictory session. And thereafter, next day, I visited him. And the very first day, he said, come inside, eat with me, drink with me. And we talked. And that is the moment I promised. I said, if given a chance, I would like to spend the rest of my life here. And his affection for all of us and the wonderful, affable ways that he has, I think peace is all about this. Nothing more, nothing less. But there is another connection, 9 minutes, and I would like to tell you about institutions of peace here and how they are attributed to this wonderful initiative that he took. 96, I had not met Dr. Karat then. I used to hear about him though sometime. And there was a Delores report, if you remember. This was one of those first report which is about peace education, a masterpiece which is titled as a Treasure Within, or Delores report. It talked about, it was considered to be a revolutionary vision of education based on the concept of lifelong learning, and very famous 4 pillars of learning: to be, to know, to do, and to live together. This was a breakthrough, 1996 Delores report, and I request all of us to just go to the website and read it. It's life-transforming. Just 2 years after, this country gets its first UNESCO Chair for Peace, and that's given to Dr. Vishwanath Karat. That was the first chair, UNESCO Chair for Peace, on human rights, democracy, and tolerance. And that inspired us. I never met with him. I never talked to him. I admired him, and I felt a little jealousy how this man could do it, sitting here, an engineer, and we are trained social scientists, trained all over the world on peace research. Then 1998, in my university, I proposed Malviya Center for Peace Research. That was the beginning, sir. You don't know. I told Dr. Karan Singh about this. And initially he said, is it? I said, have you shared with him? I said, I'm looking for an opportunity to say. 1998, we established Malviya Center for Peace Research, named after the founder of my university, Madan Mohan Malviya. And I always felt, and I tell him, and he never takes it seriously, I said, there are eerie similarities between the life and work of Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya and you, sir. So that was the beginning. Then I kept on trying, and we got, not the second or the third time we were successful, of course, with the blessing and support of Dr. Karan Singh, who still calls me as my Manas Putra. And there's a very interesting story of my coming together with him some other time. And we started our UNESCO Chair for Peace and Intercultural Understanding, which, believe me, after this chair is most active site. And even while sitting here in the wonderful company of my colleagues in Peace Studies Department, we are able to work for it. Now, very quickly, let me say that this institution embodies the ethos of what peace building is all about. You have to see the culture here. Certain ideas which we receive from the West as their contribution were inseminated here, we germinated here, were founded here. The concept of inner peace. Now, believe me, till year 2000, it was a taboo in the international parlance, even in the United Nations, to utter this word religion. They would not accept it. When I was getting my chair, they advised me, I wanted to make it interreligious understanding. He said, no, don't use the term religion. 2000, it changes. 9/11 comes, and suddenly people realize that religion has such important sway that it can transform the society one way or the other. And we were doing it already here in Pune. Inner peace was a component that was missing in this whole peace studies business. What all that we were doing had a very strong Western knowledge system backing it up. The conflict resolution, I know, and my friends, Professor Milind Patre is here, he knows, and his wonderful colleague know, we had this problem. I didn't know much about what they do, and they were, what is this Ferengi idea, bringing conflict resolution? But here is a place we bring inner peace and social peace together, and that is going to be one USP. We are already making efforts in this direction, and believe me if I say that, once again, I'm not highlighting, but I was one of those privileged persons who were invited by the General Assembly President in September 19 to talk about culture of peace. And this is what I said, that Indian genius is still unrecognized. What Professor Dr. Karad has been saying all along, that Nobel Peace Prize can go to anywhere. Why can't it come to Dnyaneshwara? Why can't it come to the Indian genius? And that's something that inspires us. And while silently working here, I'm learning my lessons. We are introducing master's program, which combines both the things, and that is the thing. And 3 minutes, 51 seconds. Let me also tell you that sometimes I meet colleagues, not only in this university, but back in Banaras Hindu University elsewhere, who have this feeling that peace is some kind of euphoria. It's philosophy. It has nothing, perhaps it can never be achieved. But please bear with us, come to us. It's not simply doing some exercises of yoga, it's a deeper feeling. Peace is transformation. And this transformation is almost, it transforms our entire personality and our social being together. And this argument has been rooted through many concepts. There was this concept of culture of peace. As you can see, it's a program for culture of peace. This idea, and that is once again very ironic that if you look at the ethos, the real crux of culture of peace, most of the ideas we can find in our Indian lineage of peace thinkers, sages. Many of them you can find in the Peace Dome incarnated. But the world still has to realize the importance of Indian genius and also the importance of our Vishwadharmi Dr. Vishwanath Karat. Somehow that particular thing remains unemphasized as much as I would like to see it happening. So at the end, come to peace studies, come to UNESCO chair, look at the completeness, democracy, human rights, peace, both inner aspects, social aspects all together. I remember when I was, recently we saw the NLC, which is once again carried forward by the worthy son of Professor Karad, Rahulji, our executive president. And that was one demonstration of what raising of democratic consciousness can do and what academics and universities can do, bringing together dozens and hundreds of more than 1,000 legislatures on a neutral platform, exchanging ideas and dialogue. If this is not peace building, then what else is? And if this is not the testimony of the power that a university may exercise, what else is? So much to share, dear friends and colleagues, but I honestly tell you, while I feel so happy for this moment to have my friend and Professor Rakesh Bhatnagar here, I also feel equally blessed to find so much of love and affection in this university. When I came here, I looked myself as an alien, but today, I will tell you one reason we come back to Pune every time is because of infinite love of my wonderful colleagues from Peace Studies Department. Many of them are hiding or doing some other work. So thank you very much for this love, affection, and pranam.
Thank you, sir. Speaking about or sharing your views about peace education for global transformation. As you all know that the peace education is integral part of all the MITWPU curriculum. And we started it since the inception of MITWPU, well before the NEP came into picture. Now we are talking about Indian education system and all, but we have already started with it right from the inception. And hence we are trying to make our footprint as a university of life transformation through the technology, innovation, philosophy, and religion. And all this is the vision towards the holistic development of a student, which is a vision of our founder director, founder president, Dr. V.D. Karad sir. He himself is not only the educational administrator, but he himself is an innovator as well. He has innovation to his credit, where it is not the innovation that he has done with the help of any other faculty members. He himself used to sit in workshop and he innovated silencer, Vishwas silencer, and numerous testing samples he used to do himself along with the staff from the workshop. And when our head of the family can do this, there lies a large responsibility on our shoulders as faculty members. And I am proud of that he is our mentor. Now I call upon Dr. Sanjay Upadhyay sir, our senior advisor, to share his words and wisdom with us.
नमस्ते। भटनागर सर, आपने वो बात कही जो कोई ज्ञानी आदमी नहीं कहता था। मैंने एक भी वाइस चांसलर, डीन, किसी प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ कॉलेजेस, एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ने ये कहते हुए सुना है कि प्राइमरी एंड सेकेंडरी एजुकेशन सिस्टम को वहाँ से रिवैम्प करो तभी भारत का भला होगा। मैं उसके लिए उनके आभार प्रकट करता हूँ। आप भी जोरदार तालियों से कि ये बिल्कुल सही बात है। ऐसे यही बात मतलब आई हैव एक्सपीरियंस इट। मैं मुंबई में स्कूलों में जाता था सिखाने के लिए। टीचिंग इज़ अ परफॉर्मिंग आर्ट। B.Ed, D.Ed जो प्राइमरी और सेकेंडरी में टीचर्स बनते हैं वहाँ पे कुछ इस तरह का ट्रेनिंग नहीं कि कैसे सिखाया जाए, पहली बात। दूसरी बात, जैसे उन्होंने कहा वैसे ही हो रहा है, यहाँ भी हो रहा है महाराष्ट्र में कि मार्क्स कम मिले हैं, साइंस में एडमिशन नहीं मिली, फिर कॉमर्स में भी एडमिशन नहीं मिली, तो बचा है आर्ट्स, तो आर्ट्स में चले जाओ, तो आर्ट्स में चले जाते हैं। जाने के बाद आर्ट्स में आगे क्या है, तो टीचर है तो टीचर बन जाओ। और स्कूल में वो टीचर जाता है जिसके पास वो हिम्मत और एबिलिटी नहीं है ज़्यादा मार्क्स कमाने की, वहाँ से वो आया हुआ है। तो वो बच्चों के दिलों में तो इस तरह से एजुकेशन नहीं दे सकता। आई हैव एक्सपीरियंस द टीचर्स। और उनको गुस्सा भी आता है अगर कब सिखाने जाते हैं तो। टीचिंग इज़ अ परफॉर्मिंग आर्ट। एवरी टीचर हैज़ टू बी एन एक्टर। एवरी एक्टर नीड नॉट बी अ टीचर। यहाँ आने के बाद करार सर ने पहले रिस्पॉन्ड किया मुझे। 2009 में मैंने करार सर से कहा कि मैं सब जगह पे पब्लिक स्पीकर करके घूमता हूँ और मैं कोशिश ये है कि कैसे सिखाया जाता है, उसमें वॉइस कल्चर क्या है, ऑडियो लॉजिक क्या है, बॉडी लैंग्वेज क्या है, आप कहाँ पे खड़े हो, थिएटर के जो नियम हैं, एक्टिंग के जो नियम है, थिएटर पे कौन से एंगल में खड़े हो, स्टूडेंट्स कहाँ पे हैं, उनकी बॉडी लैंग्वेज क्या है, ये सब थिएट्रिकल रूल्स है। लेकिन वो शिक्षक के पास भी आने चाहिए। लेकिन इतने दिन हुए मुझे पहली बार मुझे एक वाइस चांसलर इस तरह से बात करते हुए दिखाई दिया। बहुत खुशी हो गई आपका भाषण सुनकर कि यस वही वो साल हैं प्राइमरी और सेकेंडरी वाले। और वो हमारे देश में बिकॉज इंक्विजिटिवनेस, जिज्ञासा टीचर्स के पास ही नहीं है। दैट इज़ द प्रॉब्लम। मैं ऑस्ट्रेलिया में गया था प्रोग्राम करने के लिए, तो जिनके घर में ठहरा था उनके घर के बच्चे लोग, छोटे बच्चे स्कूल में जाने वाले थे, तो होस्ट ने पूछा कि आप आते हो क्या मेरे साथ में, वी हैव टू ड्रॉप द किड्स देयर इन द स्कूल। मैं बोला आता हूँ आपके साथ में। तो जाने के बाद वो प्रिंसिपल जो थी वहाँ पे उस स्कूल की, उसने पहचान करा दी कि ही इज़ फ्रॉम इंडिया, ही इज़ हियर फॉर द परफॉर्मेंस एंड ही इज़ अ मैजिशियन ऑल्सो। द मोमेंट शी इंट्रोड्यूस मी एज अ मैजिशियन, वो जो प्रिंसिपल थी वहाँ की, उसने रियली कैन यू शो मी ए ट्रिक। मैं बोला यस। सो मैंने एक मेरी मोबाइल की ट्रिक दिखाई। वो दिखाने के बाद यू विल नॉट बिलीव, शी स्टॉप द क्लासेस, शी कॉल ऑल द टीचर्स। वो 12 टीचर्स उस स्कूल के बाहर आए, उनके साथ में सीक्रेट मीटिंग हुई मेरी। उनको मैंने 3 ट्रिक्स सिखाए कि ऐसे ट्रिक्स किए जाते हैं करके। और फिर दे वेंट बैक टू देयर क्लासेस। और प्रिंसिपल ने कहा कि अब मज़ा आएगा, बिकॉज दिस इज द ओनली वे टू टेक द स्टूडेंट्स टू द सबकॉन्शियस माइंड एंड देन ट्रेन देम. यू कैनॉट ट्रेन द कॉन्शियस माइंड. ये इंक्विजिटिवनेस, ये जिज्ञासा मन में, हम जब मैं सिखाने जा रहा हूँ तो यहाँ आने के बाद ये बात हुई करार सर के साथ. करार सर, इसी हॉल में मैंने प्रोफेसर को सिखाना शुरू किया था. 98% ऑफ द प्रोफेसर सिटिंग लाइक दिस. एंड हमारे बॉडी लैंग्वेज के स्टडीज में हैंड फोल्डेड, चिन डाउन एंड लुक अप, दैट इज द ऑडियंस इज नॉट विथ यू. बॉडी लैंग्वेज कहती है तुम्हारे साथ नहीं है, ही इज मैपिंग यू. उसके मन में दर्द है हो रहा है कि ये क्यों सिखा रहा है, ये तो कोई पीएचडी वाला नहीं है, सिखा क्यों रहा है. ये सीखने की जो इच्छा है वही टीचर्स की अगर मर गई तो वो सीखने वालों को क्या सिखाएंगे. वो चेंज नहीं हो रहा है. हमारे गवर्नमेंट पॉलिटिशियंस आर वेरी बिजी विद देयर ओन पार्टी पॉलिटिक्स एंड मैथमेटिक्स. लेकिन बहुत अच्छा लगा भंडाकर जी आपने जो किया, वो बिल्कुल आवश्यक है. वही जगह है, वही जगह है. If the tree is not giving you fruits, you cannot cut the shoot and wait for a new shoot and you will get the fruits. There is a problem in the root itself. The root का problem निकालने का है तो वो स्कूल में जाना होगा हमें. इसलिए बहुत मज़ा आया. पीस एजुकेशन फॉर ग्लोबल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन. मेरे दोस्त, मेरा ही सरनेम है, सिर्फ मेरा सरनेम महाराष्ट्र का है, उनका उत्तर भारत का है, उपाध्याय और उपाध्याय. लेकिन हमारी अच्छी दोस्ती है, मित्र हैं हमारे. वहीं पे भी मुझे बार बार ये लगता है कि जो पीस सिखाने वाले आध्यात्मिक गुरु हैं वो पॉलिटिक्स में जो राजनीति वाले लोग हैं उनको डराते नहीं हैं. प्रॉब्लम ये हो रहा है, पीस वाले जो सिखाते हैं बड़े बड़े हैं, आर्ट ऑफ लिविंग होगा, स्वाध्याय परिवार होगा, सदगुरु प्रतिष्ठान होगा, ये सब जो है वो क्या कर रहे हैं, वो राजा, प्यूरिफिकेशन ऑफ पॉलिटिक्स इन लोगों के माध्यम से होना चाहिए था. पुराने ज़माने में राजा को डर था. विश्वामित्र अगर दरबार में आ गए तो राजा दशरथ नीचे उतर के विश्वामित्र को जगह देता था. क्यों? डर था कि ये है जो समाज को तैयार करते हैं. लेकिन आज वैसे नहीं हो रहा है. आज 10% के कंसेशनल रेट में लैंड ली जाती है गवर्नमेंट से और अपना 5 स्टार अध्यात्म चलता रहता है. पीस नहीं होगा उससे. एक दूसरी बात, पीस का प्रॉब्लम यह है कि पीस वालों में ही पीस रहे हैं. जो पीस को डिस्टर्ब कर रहे हैं उनके पास पीस आता ही नहीं है, क्योंकि जाने कि वहाँ जाएंगे तो ये इनका पीस खत्म हो जाएगा. तो वो डर है. उनको ट्रांसफॉर्म करने के लिए हमें वहाँ जाना होगा. गर्म पानी में ठंडा पानी डालना होगा, तभी गर्म पानी नीचे आ जाने वाला है. ये गर्म पानी वैसे उबालते रहे हैं और ठंडा पानी यही दूसरे ठंडे पानी के साथ कॉन्फ्रेंसेस ले रहे हैं कि पीस का क्या करें. इससे नहीं होगा. ये कभी तो कभी, लास्ट पॉइंट कहता हूँ कि अगर नदी होकर नदी से झगड़ा नहीं कर सकते ना तो समुद्र बन जाओ. कहाँ जाएगी वो नदी? वो तुम्हारे पास आने वाली है. बादलों के बादल से झगड़ा नहीं करते तो आकाश बन जाओ. कहाँ जाएगा बादल? वहीं रहेगा. तो इस तरह से झगड़ा नहीं हो सकता तो ऐसे झगड़ा करना है. लेकिन ऐसा झगड़ा करने के लिए वो एटीट्यूड चाहिए. वो एटीट्यूड नहीं है. सावरकर जी ने कहा था सद्गुण का अतिरेक भी विकृति है, ज़्यादा सद्गुण भी अच्छा नहीं है. एंड दैट इज़ द प्रॉब्लम विद द पीस. इतने बड़े बड़े पीस के राजदूत हो गए हमारे आज भी, लेकिन नोबडी कैन स्टॉप रशिया एंड यूक्रेन एंड हमास एंड इसराइल. नहीं स्टॉप कर सकते, क्योंकि हम अपने ही वर्लपूल जैसे हम अपने ही पीस के सर्कल में घूम रहे हैं, बार 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 वहीं पे आ रहे हैं. तो एजुकेशन के माध्यम से ग्लोबलाइजेशन के लिए जाना है तो इस तरह से कुछ अलग सोचना होगा, हिम्मत दिखानी पड़ेगी. उसके लिए किसी को रोकना होगा गलत काम करने से. उसको करने दो, उसका हम अपना काम करेंगे. इस तरह से आइसोलेट होकर नहीं चलेगा, ऐसा मुझे लगता है. एनीवे, इन एज अ कंक्लूडिंग रिमार्क्स, इन आज के दोनों मेहमानों के जो विचार थे उन विचारों पे मैं, क्योंकि मैं और करार सर ने अनुभव लिया है, बहुत बुरा लगा जिस दिन यूनेस्को पेरिस में उनके ऑफिसर ने महात्मा गांधी और गौतम बुद्ध दी 2 स्टेचूज़ वहाँ इंस्टॉल करने की बात करार सर ने कही थी. पूरा खर्चा MIT करने वाली थी. वहाँ जाके पेरिस में हम लोगों ने जाके वहाँ पे जगह फिक्स किया कि कहाँ ये दोनों स्टेचूज़ हम फिक्स कर सकते हैं यूनेस्को के प्रांगण में जाके, कि जहाँ पीस की बात बनती है. उन्होंने नहीं कहा. उन्होंने कहा, गांधी जी के स्टेचू को देखेगा, इट्स अ पीस ऑफ एन आर्ट. ही वॉज अ स्टेट्समैन, ही वॉज नॉट अ शांति दूत नहीं है महात्मा गांधी. ही इज़ अ स्टेट्समैन, ये पॉलिटिशियन है करके उनका कहना था, और गौतम बुद्ध का भी स्टेचू वहाँ लगाने नहीं दिया। तो ये इमेज कैसे बदलेंगे? ये पूरी दुनिया के मन में जो गड़बड़ हो रही है, बहुत हमें बाहर आने के बाद ऐसे लगा कि अरे हम कहाँ आके, और ऊपर से हमारा ही वहाँ के जो ऑफिसर था, द वे ही बिहेव्ड विद डॉक्टर कराड, यू विल नॉट बिलीव। जाने के बाद हाथ जोड़ के कराड सर कह रहे हैं कि आवश्यकता है इस चीज़ की आज, अगर यूनेस्को पीस के लिए काम करते, लेकिन द वे, वही आपने कहा वो ब्यूरोक्रेट भटनागर सर, वेरी बैड एक्सपीरियंस। तो आई थिंक सब कुछ अलग तरीका ढूंढना पड़ेगा शांति के लिए। मालूम नहीं वो क्या है, लेकिन जल्दी आ जाएगा। इफ़ यू थिंक यू कैन, यू कैन। थैंक यू।
Friends, you have just heard the few remarks by Sanjay उपाध्याय और प्रियंकर उपाध्याय। मैंने कभी सोचा नहीं था, लेकिन इतनी बारीकी से, इतनी तीक्ष्ण नज़र से कोई एनालाइज करना इतना आसान नहीं होता है। But it's a good luck for us, friends, that we are having Mr. Rakesh Bhatnagar Sahab, who made a very unique remark, which just now Sanjay ji explained to you, speaking about the school level education, the very foundation of any cultural system. And we have been very proud always about talking to Indian culture, tradition and philosophy. Fortunate enough, Bhatnagar Sahab, it is this very hall which is named in the name of Philosopher Dnyaneshwara. In the year 1996, the first parliament of science, religion and philosophy was held in this very hall, and the first lecture of this endowment lecture series was very happy to honor Dr. Abbas from America, speaking on Dnyaneshwari, an American gentleman, a professor from America, speaking in this very hall on the wonderful narration of the philosophy of what Mother India stands for. रास्ता दिखाना है दुनिया को, क्या योगदान हो सकता है इस संस्था के माध्यम से नहीं, पूरी भारतवर्ष के माध्यम से, उसके बारे में बड़ा चिंतन हुआ। संजय उपाध्याय साहब ने अभी जो छोटी कहानी, कभी बोलते नहीं हम, लेकिन पहली बार संजय has indicated that you will not believe it, possibly all of you, that with the clear permission of the Government of India, the Ministry of HRD, that time very great people, Professor Yashpal, P.N. Haksar, great men. I still remember when P.N. Haksar ji came here and returned back to Delhi, he wrote me a letter about 4 lines. And he says, I have returned back to Delhi highly enriched. And I see in the form of MIT an island of hope in the vastness of humanity. That this institution will try to show the pathway of peace and harmony to the entire mankind. That is the hope. Who says? P.N. Haksar. Yashpal was honored in this very hall. And of course, so many other events have taken place, but that time Murli Manohar Joshi ji was the minister, HRD minister. A very great scientist, forget about his political positions. But the very first conference I had the fortune of attending in Paris at UNESCO, nearly 5,000 delegates were together. And I still remember that really tempted me, being the first person to be the UNESCO chair for peace, harmony, tolerance, and so many things which Mr. Upadhyay has said. But I was tempted to see that in this UNESCO chair for peace, I felt, and I'm tempted, who are the messengers of peace? I still remember that when we went to that hotel, small hotel, while writing the address, We were 4 people, and near the railway station we had a small hotel where we were trying to stay for 2-3 days. We went there, my friends wrote their names and gave the address as MIT, Pune, India, etc. But what I did was I wrote my name and address I said dicto. But that manager was looking at me what I'm doing. He said, "Gentlemen, write the full address." And then I had to write the full address. And when I said Pune, India, Maharashtra, India, the moment I wrote India, he said, "Oh, that great country of Mahatma Gandhi and Gautama Buddha." One word. He never spoke about any leaders of India, but he only spoke 2 names, Mahatma Gandhi and Gautama Buddha, messengers of peace. And that really reminded me of my duty, and I was tempted to install the statue, wonderful statue, still it has been in my village now, statue of Gautama Buddha and Mahatma Gandhi. Government in India permitted me to do it. The whole packing was done and it was to be sent to Paris. But you will not believe the bureaucracy which you commented very rightly. The ambassador of India and their assistants, they gave a completely opposite report, written, and that person had said, Mahatma Gandhi, oh, that he was just a freedom fighter. He was not a statesman or somebody. No concern with peace. Our person. And a written report was given in the committee. And both the statues of Mahatma Gandhi and Gautama Buddha, which were packed for transport through Air India, were to be taken back. Our own people, but I should not say this. I know the name. I remember still Mr. Arjun Singh was the minister that time, next time after Mr. Murli Manohar Joshi. So many things are there about bureaucracy, what he said, but more than that, the very wonderful words of wisdom which he spoke about the philosophy behind what is the basic root cause of this education system itself. I think we have the questions of engineering colleges, medical colleges. Now the new system has come, Mr. Bhatnagar Sahab. All the foreign universities are being given the full freedom, no control. And private institutions and the government aided institutions, they have a different mission altogether. We have all restrictions. How can they differentiate this? But about that political issue, I don't want to make any comments. But it has been a wonderful discussion, and really the words of wisdom which both of them, my friend Mr. Upadhyay, what a good fortune, Banaras Hindu University. Kitni zameen hai bhai?
4,000 acres.
4,000 acres. अपनी 30-40 एकड़ है तो भी काफ़ी है. मजे की बात है. But we have got our own way. But one thing, I have been very fortunate to have Mr. Vijay Bhatkar and the men like Dr. Mashalkar, and we have been at least not on the wrong path. It has been revealed after about 45 years or so that we are on the right path. Understanding the very essence and philosophy of what Mother India stands for, and the words of wisdom spoken by the great noble son of India, Swami Vivekananda. The sentence has been uttered by our teacher that union of science and religion alone will help to bring harmony and peace to mankind. ये रास्ता है, दिशा है, Sant Dnyaneshwara to Albert Einstein. For the first time I wrote this article 28 years back. The very heading of the article was Philosopher Sant Dnyaneshwara to Albert Einstein. No time possibly such comparison was made. And now we have very recently, for your information, as the Schrodinger, Penrose, everybody speaks, it's high time for all of us, like educationists, all of us, my teachers, they have written, very clearly they have written, it's high time for the world community of teaching and education to start the schools of consciousness and reality, the ultimate truth, the ultimate reality, I think, very difficult to understand this part. And hence, MIT has taken a step to start the MIT School of Consciousness and Reality, the ultimate truth, or the Almighty God, in search of this. And this answer, possibly through our own school, I have a confidence that we have some teaching community, and Priyankar himself has been a part and parcel of this issue. The pathway will be giving a new divine intervention for the whole program of the education, and show the pathway with the body and the brain concept and the mind and the heart. I think those things are being discussed in this institution, but today I feel very delighted and happy that let's join hands for some good cause. Nothing to ask or demand for anything else. So once again, for both of them, please give me a big clap. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We are coming to the end of today's session. Before I call Dr. Sunil George for proposing the formal vote of thanks, let me remind you about the program tomorrow. We will be starting with the yoga session at 6:45 sharp, and at 8:45 we will have our first session where we will listen to the views of Mr. Dhananjay Gokhale on Ek Tari Rucha Angikaravi. After that, we will have Dr. Abhijit Sonavne. He will be speaking on Zeka Ranjale Ganjale. And Dr. Rohini Patwardhan, she will be speaking on Savatpane Aika Pudcha Haka. So please be there in time, and we will see you tomorrow. Now I will call upon Dr. Sunil George, Professor and Dean of School of Law, to propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Madam. Good evening, respected dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, deans, directors, heads of departments. It gives me immense pleasure to stand before this august gathering and to propose a vote of thanks. I would like to first thank our founder president, Sri Vishwanath Karat sir, and our executive president, Sri Rahul Karat sir, for the series of endowment lectures, a legacy which has been continuing for the past 28 years. I would like to thank Professor Radhika Dixit for introducing us to the serenity of Om. I would like to thank Dr. Mukesh Sharma ji for the Kahani Pani Bare Glass Ki under the banner Niti Ki Lagu Kahani. I would like to thank Dr. Rakesh Bhatnagar, President's Awardee. Fortunate to listen to you, sir, and your story of how from humble beginnings you became a scientist, how the entry into academia, JNU, your contribution to biotechnology, your contribution to vaccinology, the power of innovation, and also the problems faced by contemporary India, which includes the knowledge drain. And once again, kind of re-emphasizing the importance of education, especially primary and secondary education. Thank you so much, sir. I also would like to thank Dr. Priyankar Upadhyay, sir, UNESCO Chair for Peace and Intercultural Understanding at Banaras Hindu University. How sir spoke about his association with MIT, and our own founder president, Sri Vishwanath Karat sir, how he emphasized that the ethos of peace and peace was built and inbuilt in our MIT University. Thank you, sir, for reminding us. I would also like to thank Sanjay Upadhyay, sir, for the concluding remarks. Also, our founder president, Sri Vishwanath Karat, sir, for his concluding remarks. Last but not least, I would like to thank our wonderful anchor for today, Dr. Mridula Kulkarni, ma'am, for taking the proceedings so well. Thank you. God bless.
As per the tradition, we will end this session by the recitation of Vishwagan Pasaidan. May I request all of you to rise in your seat, fold your hands, close your eyes for Pasaidan.